Hi, I'm Chandresa from English for Ladies, and today I'm back with another lesson. Today I'm going to help you master the uses of used to, get used to, getting used to, can't get used to, couldn't get used to, and all of these in one lesson. But grammar lessons are pointless if you just sit and watch them. You try hard to memorize these couple of rules and you think that's going to help, but it doesn't, because the lesson is finished and you still don't know exactly when you can use that kind of grammar. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to help you write some sentences that you will relate to, and that way you will remember it for longer. And you will know next time you are in a situation that you could use used to or getting used to or can't get used to, then you will know that that's when you should use them. If you haven't already, please grab a pen and paper and come back. Well, let's start with used to. We use used to in English to talk about past states and past habits that are not true anymore. We've heard that before. But how does that really relate to you? What is a past state or what is a past habit? Well, let me break it down for you. States are situations like where you live, where you work, things you like, don't like, hate or love. Appearance, okay? These are states, they're not actions. They are facts, right? So you either have them or you don't. You either have black hair or you don't. You either live in London or you don't. You are tall or you aren't, right? So when you want to talk about past states in English, consider this. Has any of these things changed for you? Do you now live in a different place from what you used to? Do you now have a different appearance, perhaps a different color, or maybe you changed weight, or maybe you changed workplace, maybe you changed taste. There were things that you liked, you don't like anymore. There were things that you loved and you don't love anymore, right? Let me give you a lot of examples for myself and then I'll help you create yours. Right, so I would say, I used to live in Kosovo. I used to live in Kosovo. Do I live there now? No, because the fact that I'm using used to means that this is a past state. This is not true anymore. Okay, so I used to live in Kosovo. I used to teach in a real classroom in a language school, in an amazing language school. Do I teach there now? No, because I just told you I used to. And that on its own, it's good enough to let you know that I don't do that anymore. I used to have blonde hair. So, is my hair blonde now? Very far from it. I used to be size 8. Yeah, okay, let's skip that one. I used to hate mushrooms, but now I love them. So my taste has changed. I used to be camera shy. Now, I guess I'm not anymore. Okay, well, these were my examples. I used to plus the verb, the bare infinitive, just the verb, nothing extra, right? So I used to live, I used to work, I used to teach, I used to have, I used to like or hate or don't like. So far, we said that we use used to plus the verb, used to structure to talk about past states, right? So they're not true anymore. Which means it's understandable that when I say I used to live in Kosovo, I don't live there anymore. But you can always extend your sentence with another clause. You could say, I used to live in Kosovo, but now I live in the UK. I used to have blonde hair, but now my hair is black. Okay? So now you are telling how it is different, how it is now. Now it's your turn. I would like you to stop and think for a minute. And of course, pause me if you have to and think, what has changed in your life? Have you moved house, like neighborhood, country? Have you changed your workplace or perhaps your profession? Has your personality changed in any way? Okay, your appearance? Have you lost weight, gained weight, your size changed, your hair color, anything like that? Because these are all past states, and you could use that to make your own sentences so they are true for you and they would help you memorize used to. So take your time and write them down. Well, these were past states, but the biggest use of used to structure is actually for past habits. What is a past habit? A habit is just something you do regularly, okay? Like even just having a coffee first thing in the morning, it's a habit. If you do that repetitively and you do that every day, it's a habit. It's not a bad one, but it's a habit, right? Some people have a habit of reading before they go to bed. Great one to have. So habits are things that we usually do. But one thing can happen in our life and that could change all our habits like that. That's my baby. Well, not really. But do I have any mothers here today? If yes, you know that moment you had your first child, right? The joy, the happiness. And then, boom, the responsibility, the change, all your life just changes like that. So in these kind of situations, all your habits become past habits. Because ladies, when we become mothers, we change a lot. And a lot of the things that we did before we were mothers, we don't do them anymore. Perhaps because we don't have time, perhaps because we have different priorities now. So here are a few things that I stopped doing once I became a mother. I used to think you can't live without sleep. But now I understand that you can do that for days and weeks. I used to wear a lot of makeup. Now I only do that when I have recorded lessons or something, a very special occasion. I used to wear high heels. Now I wear them mostly for family photos because my husband is taller than me. I used to blow dry my hair for half an hour every single day. Now, special occasions. I used to remember things. Remembering was not a big deal. Now, I put them in my alarm. We, like me and my husband, we used to go out at the weekends. Now, we have a movie night in. We used to make spot-on decisions of the moment. Just think about it, do it, get it done. And now we have to plan things ahead. We used to wish each other good night. Now it's more like good luck. It's gonna be one of those nights again. But that's parenthood and I love it. Of course, there were things that I didn't used to do before I became a mother, and now they are my routine. They are my habits, right? So again, something has changed. Even then, we use used to, but in negative form. I didn't use to. We don't use the D anymore because we have the auxiliary verb didn't. But I'll explain that in a little bit. Before I became a mother, I didn't used to sleep with twinkle twinkle little stars. I didn't used to sleep with music on in general. I didn't used to wear trainers. Now I live on them. That means I wear them all the time. I didn't used to go to parks very often. And now, a regular visitor. I didn't used to go to bed before 12. What about you? Did you used to wear high heels? Did you used to wear a lot of makeup? Did you used to blow dry your hair regularly? Did you used to meet friends every day? Did you used to sleep with music on? Did you used to make plans in advance for everything? And the answers could be, yes, I used to do that. Or, yeah, I remember doing that. Yeah, I used to love that. No, I didn't used to do that. Or, no, I never did that before. No, not really. Okay, let's have a little recap. So we use used to for past states and past habits that they're not true anymore or we don't do them anymore. We say used to in any person. They used to live next door to us. She used to work in my company. They used to argue all the time. Now they don't anymore. So in any person is the same, just used to, used to, used to. It does not change. The change though happens in the negative and question form. We say didn't used to and did you used to? Did he used to? So we have dropped the D because did is an auxiliary verb. The role of an auxiliary verb in a sentence is to help the verb. That's why they are differently known as helpful verbs. Because if you remember, we do that in past simple. I worked yesterday. Did you work yesterday? I didn't work yesterday. Right? Is the same rule. That's helpful verbs, a role in a sentence. But pronunciation wise, it's very tricky. You can't say I used to because we link words to have this flow of the sentence and similar sounds. We put them together. One of them is gone. The D sound is gone. I used to. I used to. I used to live in Kosovo. I used to have blonde hair. And I didn't used to. I didn't used to. Exactly the same. But never mind. They sound the same and that's fine. That's the correct way to say it. But be very careful when you write it down because I used to work and I used to work is not the same, right? Their meaning is not the same. So that little d belongs there in positive form. Make sure you put it there. Guess what? It's your turn. Here is my little challenge. I want you to write 3 sentences in the chat below that will help me understand the big change in your life. Maybe you moved country. Maybe you got engaged, married, right? You had a child. Your child started school. So there are a few things that really shift your habits. So think of that big change and write 3 sentences that would help me understand what your change was. For example, if you say, I used to sleep on my own, which means now you don't, I'll probably think, you got married, right? If you say, I didn't used to sleep with music on, I can guess that you've had a baby. If you say that, I used to think I'm never gonna find Mr. Right, I know that you now have him in your life. So whatever your big change is, okay, write your comments and I can't wait to read them and try to find what that big change was. Now let's have a look at be used to and get used to. When I say be used to, I'm referring to I am used to sleeping till late. I'm used to sleeping with music on now. So this is familiar to me now. I can do that, no problem. Yeah? But get used to, you're saying that you are becoming familiar to this new way of doing things or new thing. My daughter started school last week and this is what happened. She is used to a lot of things and ways of doing things because she was at home with me all the time. And now that she's at school, she needs to get used to all these different ways of doing things, right? So she is used to sleeping till late. Now she needs to get used to waking up earlier. She is used to having all her toys for herself. Now she needs to get used to sharing them with her friends. She's used to having me stand up for her. Now she needs to get used to managing situations herself. With is used to and get used to, we use a gerund, which is the verb with ing. We use a noun or a person. So she is used to parks. She needs to get used to school, or she needs to get used to her teacher. And of course, on the other hand, I need to get used to a new routine. But I am sure me and my daughter, we will get used to the new routine. We will get used to. So I think in the future, we will have no problem with this. Take some time, but we will become familiar. We will get used to school hours. We will get used to school life. You would use got used if you're talking about something you became familiar. I got used to sleeping with music on. So I wasn't, but I got used. I got used to wearing trainers all the time. And of course, what if this becoming familiar with, it's just not happening? She is used to having me around all the time. Now, she needs to get used to mommy not being there. She is used to having me around all the time. Now, she needs to get used to mommy not being there. I can't get used to sleepless nights. I just can't live without sleep. So, no matter how many times it happens, I just can't get used to it. I can't get used to sleeping with music on. You can use the same structure to talk about the past. I couldn't get used to holding a newborn. And of course, I couldn't get used to the smell of her nappies. That's not something you get used to. You can also use I can get used to this as an expression to say that this is so good. I could do this all the time, right? If your husband treats you to a spa day with your best friend for your birthday or something, you will say, I can get used to this, you know. I could do this every week. So you love it and you could become familiar with this because it feels good. And now back to you. Please use these structures to try and build your own sentences with I am used to, I was used to, I'm getting used to, I will get used to, I got used to, I can't get used to, I couldn't get used to. How are you ladies doing so far? It is a challenge, but I know my ladies love a challenge. But getting used to speaking English, becoming a confident English speaker takes a little bit more than that. It takes practice. Practice, practice, practice. And this is why at English for Ladies we have a program, English Everyday for Ladies program, where you can practice speaking English every single day. You can meet on Zoom with myself and other English speaking teachers, native English teachers, and you can have real life conversations about things we love and we care the most. You can practice your grammar, pronunciation, build your vocabulary, and the most importantly, build the confidence you need to stand up there and speak English confidently. English will empower you. You can find the link for more information and how you can join us there in the description of this video. I'll see you inside the lesson. But one last thing before you go. How is used to different from would? We also use would in English to talk about past habits. But how are they different? When you use would, you must state when it happened. I would go out every weekend before I had my baby. But you can use used to without that, because used to in itself helps us understand that we don't do this anymore. We stopped doing it. I used to go out every weekend. That means I don't anymore. I would go out every weekend. Not the same meaning. So I must add when I would do that. I would go out every weekend before I had my baby. And the next important thing you must remember is we do not use would for past states. You say, I used to have blonde hair, but not I would have blonde hair. Doesn't make sense. So would only for past habits, and you must state when it actually happened. Well, this was me for today, but to help you really master the uses of used to in English, I've prepared a blog with a quiz which you can find in our page englishforladies.com. If you liked this video and you would like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our future videos. I'm on a mission to help 1 million ladies empower themselves through English. So if you think any of the ladies that you know will find this lesson helpful, please share it with them, because I know I can't do this on my own, but with your help, I know we can. Thank you!